Let's venture into the Upside Down to talk about Stranger Things 4. Let's get into it.
What's your favorite scary movie? Amen.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Well, I'm Pennywise the dancing now.
We're gonna get you. Oh, blood on the beast!
God, don't do that.
But sometimes death is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? Killjoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today, we're not talking about movies, but a television show perhaps instead, Stranger Things Season 4. I am literally so excited to get into this, but before we do that, I'm gonna need y'all to like this video and subscribe for more horror TV content, and most of the time, movies. The entirety of Season 4 is now on Netflix, so I would highly recommend checking that out before you watch this video, but I am going to do a little bit of a non-spoiler review just right now. Sometimes when I watch a new season of television or a new sequel or something along those lines, I'm kind of iffy about saying it's my favorite thing from whatever this franchise or series is. I can wholeheartedly, confidently say that Stranger Things Season 4 blows everything else out of the water that has come previous to it. My God, this may be the best continuation of something I have ever seen in my life. What an amazing, well-executed story all the way around. I put something out on Twitter recently saying that I genuinely would not change a single shot. There is nothing wrong with Stranger Things Season 4. I love it. I absolutely love it to death. This is so well written, and sometimes when you have shows like this that get so big, they get a little too big for their britches. That was kind of what I was worried about with Season 4. I genuinely thought that Season 3 was always going to be my favorite season. I see some people, especially, I actually just watched Dead Meat's kill count of it, who he kind of thought the whole Russia thing was goofy. To me, I saw that being set up for a long time now. You know, I was like, oh yeah, of course they're setting up the Russians as the villains. That's such an 80s thing to do. I think it was cool. I thought it was cool. But now with Season 4, I was really worried that the show had gotten to a point where it peaked, and now it's going to try to get a little too big, and then it's just like it's too big for its britches. It just doesn't know what to do with this big of a story. But the exact opposite has happened with Season 4. They knew exactly what they were doing. I mean, they killed it. There's really not too much I can say without spoiling, but what I will say is that there's twists and turns. There's just excellent new characters. There's so many very positive things about this that usually just don't happen in the fourth season of a television show. I now hold Stranger Things up there with like Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, yada yada, the greatest show, Mad Men even. I think Mad Men's pretty damn good. I can say that. Lost. I mean, it's up there with those shows now in my opinion. I don't think before this season I probably wouldn't have said that about Stranger Things. I liked it. I always thought it was great. But now it's something else now. I mean, where the show has gone with this new season, especially with those last 2 episodes, I'm just beyond impressed with this. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. I highly recommend you check this out before you get it spoiled. So now let's move a little bit into the spoilery section. So the first thing we gotta address, because Twitter is going absolutely insane about it, is no, Will Byers did not come out in this season. But let me tell you, this is not the first time they have set something up in previous seasons for it to become something crucial in a later season. Like, remember when Russia was kind of just like a joke in the background in seasons like 1 and 2, and the whole satanic panic thing in like seasons 2 and 3? That was just kind of like a little background element. That was like throwaway lines, yada yada. Now both of those things have become major things in season 4 at least. In season 3, we had the introduction of the Russians as the antagonists, which, like I said, was just kind of a joke in the previous 2 seasons. But I guess the point I'm getting at is, yes, they have been setting up Will to come out for 2 seasons now. So what does that mean? Season 5, it'll definitely happen. So those who want to see Mike and Will get together, it's still a possibility, my dudes. But there's a lot more to talk about regarding Stranger Things Season 4, because oh my God, it's insane. It's blowing my mind right now. Like I said, I absolutely love this season. I think it blows everything out of the water that came previous before it. The entire plot line revolving around Eddie Munson killing teenagers, is that what's going on here? Or is that just people acting out of fear because they don't know what the heck is going on? Oh, of course, it's actually just a creature from the Upside Down named Vecna. And oh my, does this season revolve around him, and does it explain a lot about the show? It's crazy. I loved it. I love how they explained it. And I know I had said in some previous videos saying, oh, they got to make Robert Englund Vecna. Like, that would be such a massive missed opportunity. I still think it is, but considering that they still made something great with their original characters, regardless, I'm still very happy with it. Yes, would I have loved to have seen Robert Englund play this character? Of course, because it's basically just a Freddy Krueger knockoff. but I'm still happy with it. If Warner Bros. Ever decides like, hey, we're gonna make another Nightmare on Elm Street film, they gotta get the Duffer Brothers to do it. I mean, who else could do it at this point? They've not only put their foot in the door, they have kicked that damn thing open. They're living in the house of Nightmare. I absolutely loved that, by the way. The whole, like, that little whole subplot of this whole season just really feels like a Nightmare on Elm Street film. It's great. It's such a great homage to what is such a beloved thing from the 80s. I think they did it really well. And to have Robert Englund in there as well in just a cameo appearance still really works for me as Victor Creel. It was an amazing performance. I loved it to death. Like I said, I wouldn't change a single thing, even though going into this season, I would have loved to have seen Robert Englund actually portray Vecna. And maybe the coolest thing to ever happen in Stranger Things is Eddie Munson playing Master of Puppets on top of his RV while a swarm of Demobats comes after them for them to fight. I mean, listen, if you're not satisfied with that, nothing's gonna make you happy. I don't know what to tell you at that point. that was one of the coolest things I have seen in a movie all year across the board. And this isn't even a movie. Like, this is a television show. And this is blowing everything else out of the water I've seen horror-wise in the movie scene this year. God, I mean, I'm so impressed. This is amazing. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. What more could you want there? Joseph Quinn kills it as Eddie Munson this season, and my God, was his death tragic. I really thought they were going to kill Steve, but there is a part of me that's kind of glad they killed Eddie instead. He's just a less established character. And as much as I did love him and he absolutely shined this season, I'm so glad they didn't kill Steve. I was so worried about that, man. Oh my God. There's so much more they could do with this character too, and there's a lot of things I want to see happen with Steve too, moving forward with the next season or whatever. Maybe if he gets together with Nancy. I mean, listen, I'm invested in these characters. I want to see some of them get together at this point. And if you were upset with how they treated Will this season, don't you worry, because they did treat Robin pretty well. They got her flirting with, I can't remember the girl's name for the life of me, but hey, they had that. They got that going. They got something going on there. Some chemistry working its magic. Okay, hey, there we go, right? Another side character I want to point out real quickly is Chrissy, played by Grace Van Dine. I'm sorry, Grace, if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. If you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, this idiot can't even pronounce my name correctly. Jeez, you gave a fantastic performance. She was amazing. Holy crap. In the little space that she had in this season, I mean, she really stood out. And like I said, across the board, there's just great performances here. I didn't have a problem with just about anybody. So to stand out amongst this entire phenomenal A-list, amazing cast, A-list was a little gracious to some of these people, but that's really impressive. That's super impressive if you can stand out like that. She was a great character. Obviously, she had to die for the whole like satanic panic thing to work in the background. I don't think it would have worked otherwise. You had Jason running around the town with his like group of bullies and jocks just trying to kill people, and he's just going nuts being an idiot. So that wouldn't have worked without her death. But I think she was fantastic for the little time she had on the show. And Vecna, portrayed by Jamie Campbell Bowers, was a show stealer, possibly my favorite new character. Seriously, I want to see this guy in some more horror movies playing some villains, because this dude is fucking scary. Holy shit. Oh, I mean, he's not only great in all the flashback scenes where he's playing one, and then like you find out how he turns into Vecna, which is a great twist, by the way, that I just did not see coming. Did not know that he was going to be Henry Creel either. It's just like, what? Oh, I don't know. I just thought it was across the board really well written. It was a twist that got me. Better than the new Scream film, I gotta say that. But I thought it was fantastic. Very well written, just amazing. And Raphael Luce, I don't know how to pronounce his name, also portrayed young Henry Creel when they did all the flashbacks to the Creel house. He was also fantastic. Just adding more positive performances across the board, even from new characters. I mean, literally everybody was great. I don't have a problem with anybody across the board from the show. That is not, you can't say that about most television shows. That's amazing. It's considering the entire returning cast was great, and a plethora of new characters all stood out and were amazing, well-written characters. It's just like, holy crap, how did they do this? How did they make this show? Duffer Brothers, whatever you guys are smoking, you gotta start sharing some of that stuff. That's all I'm gonna say. The entire plotline in California is also very interesting. We have characters such as Mike, Will, John, Argyle, and Eleven, who Argyle, I just want to say, is amazing because we finally have some stoner representation in our Stranger Things show, which is always great. great. And if Argyle wasn't there, we wouldn't know about all like the salts and the water and in Surfer Boy pizza places. I think that's really cool how that whole plot line works, especially since they get the guy who's working there, who's also a stoner, as we would assume, to leave with a joint in his pocket, which, man, that's just so funny. That character was also very, very funny, and just like probably also stoned while giving that performance, because that was pretty good. This is a pretty good stoned performance there. I think this whole subplot's really well done as well, with Papa dying too, which I think is a definitive death this time around, and we're not like questioning, is he still in the background lurking or whatever. That was a question we got answered this season about what Papa's been up to for like the past couple of seasons where we haven't seen him. And now we kind of learned that, oh, he's still just been in the shadows trying to get to 11, and he wanted to experiment on her. There's a lot of theories going around right now that maybe Papa did think she was strong enough to go against Vecna, but he was kind of afraid of losing her, didn't want her to go and fight. And I think that's really interesting. It's a very interesting character study that's leading into a theory I'm going to have in a video maybe sometime this week if I have some time. Because I have a crazy theory that I need to do a lot of research before I even pitch it into the world, but it's something I've been thinking about recently, about the character of Papa. But his death was insane and super emotional, and it was just like, oh my god, I can't believe 11 was basically just like, yeah, fuck you. Like, you're not my family. I might have been your family, but I'm not your family. Get the hell out of here. I don't care. Whatever. She just leaves. That was brutal. I mean, wow. And Papa deserved it. Don't get me wrong. Like, the guy deserved it. He was kind of a jackass, but you saw the good intentions, even though his actions didn't really match that. I think it's a really interesting character study there. And then the Russia plotline was fantastic. Probably would have been my favorite if they didn't do all the whole nightmare thing in the main plot or whatever with Vecna and Eddie and all that. That was my favorite subplot. I got to be honest, but this one was very close to being my favorite as well, just because of how well structured and written it is. You have Joyce and Murray going after Hopper after Joyce gets this mysterious doll from Russia in the mail, and it's just like, what's this all about? What's going on here? They go and try to save Hopper, who they think is still alive. We finally get them reuniting at the end of the first volume, and then you see them like kind of kiss and make up and all that in volume 2, which was great. That was very satisfying for a lot of fans who've been wanting to see that happen for a while. So that was cool. Murray gives a great performance. Hopper's amazing too, in a very much more stern version of the character. You see the tortured side of Hopper in this season a lot, and it's just really well done. Murray's hilarious, and Winona Ryder is just a fucking force of nature that you cannot stop. My god, she just emanates this power in this role. This is truly becoming one of her best roles ever, and she's just amazing. The entire Demogorgon fight was really well done and super bloody and disgusting. We really got to see what the Demogorgon could do, like massacre wise, which I think was fun. And we got this whole little like fight towards the end with Murray just blasting all of them with the flamethrower, which was sweet too. Oh, I mean, I was actually screaming. I was jumping up and down in my bed when he lights them up like that, and they're just like huddled up in the corner. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so satisfying. It's a fantastic season of television. And then there's also this really dramatic scene with Enzo and Yuri, Yuri is this character that smuggles them over into Russia and actually kind of kidnaps them for a brief little period there. He's kind of a bad guy, but we get this sequence with Enzo and Yuri, Enzo's also this like Russian guard who ends up becoming a prisoner after he tries to help Hopper escape. They're both, once again, side characters that end up playing a massive role in this entire little subplot here. And it's really well done. They have this sequence together where he's talking to Yuri saying like, oh, you're the peanut butter smuggler now. You're like a joke to the Russians. Like, you used to be this great war hero. You saved people. You led this battle in China that was super successful. You saved a bunch of people. What happened to you, man? And it's like, just this really well done dramatic sequence that you have this character who's been silly the entire time, and to see this really dramatic side to them, you paint this wonderful picture for your side characters as well as your main characters. They had so much time to flesh this out because it's a television series, but they don't waste a single second of it. God, I mean, it's so well done for characters that I honestly just didn't care about going into this new season, and then you make me care about them because they're so deep, because they're so rich with detail. And that ending was like pretty upset. Listen, this is probably the most brutal ending to a Stranger Things season ever. I mean, nothing even comes close. The sequence where Max is basically dead. Like you're pretty much like, oh yeah, no, she died. And it's just like, oh my god, and she's saying like all that, like, I don't want to go yet and all that. Oh Oh my God. I mean, I was heartbroken. I mean, literally just talking about it, I'm starting to tear up a little bit. I didn't realize how much I would have been affected if Max would have died. I mean, that was the point where I was like bawling my eyes out. I couldn't even fucking take that. That was almost too much. Even for Stranger Things, I'm like, this is almost too much, man. I don't know if I can take this. I'm like dead. I am dead watching this. That was insane. Bringing her back to life, I will say, was kind of like a little like, okay, are we going to explain that in the next season, or was that just kind of like a cop out here because we want to keep Sadie Sink alive? Because of course, I don't know. We'll have to see in the next season. I wonder if that's like a brand new power 11 has because of all this. I'm sure the Duffer Brothers have some kind of explanation that's coming in season 5, of course, though. And speaking of season 5, what is going to happen? Oh my God, the entire town of Hawkins is basically falling into the upside down as of right now, and we were kind of left on a bit of a cliffhanger. We did have a very nice denouement, like I said. We got the character of Robin kind of flirting it up with that cute redhead. Oh, okay, let's go. Here we go. Things are going on. Things are going on for Miss Robin, which is great. We had a lot of really cool little instances with everyone finally coming together at the very end in this little denouement, which is nice. That was something we didn't see all season. This was like one of the first Stranger Things seasons where everyone didn't just come together to fight against the bad guy at the end. Everyone was fighting across like wherever they were. If it was in like California, Hawkins, Russia, wherever. I think that was really cool. It was a different way to tell the story, and then we had everyone converge at the end, which was nice. Actually, really worked out. I think it was a really cool way to do that. I think I'm beyond excited for what is in store for the 5th and final season of Stranger Things, probably coming in what, a year or two? Probably 2 years. I mean, they have to do something bigger for season 5 to top season 4. What, you can't just give me a more simplistic season at this point. I don't know, or maybe you can, and maybe that's a back to form kind of instance for them. We'll just have to see what the Duffer Brothers come up for us next and finish off this story. But what did you guys think of season 4 of Stranger Things? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching my Stranger Things season 4 review. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Also, if you want to support this channel further, make sure to support me on Patreon or become a channel member by clicking that join button on my page. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.